Hey guys, today I'm going to do a review of The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is the first book in a trilogy and the next one is Never Fade, which I'm going to get to soon because this book was actually really good and I give it 3.5 stars because I've done a review of We Were Liars as well and I gave that one 4 and this one was not quite as good for reasons I'm going to go into right now. The Darkest Minds follows the life of a girl called Ruby and she lives, it's basically dystopian society. There's a disease that people contract when they're 10 years old and it kind of just solves itself when they're 18. I don't really understand how, but between the ages of 10 and 18 they have this power and it's called IAAN, which is really hard to say, and it's a really long word and it's basically a neurological disease where they can do things with their mind. They basically have superpowers and it scares the adults to bits that they make these accounts where they put in all of the children between 10 and 14 when these powers start to manifest, and you can either be a blue who can move things with their mind, they can do telekinesis, and the greens, I don't know what the greens can do. The greens are just really smart. They can figure out puzzles. The greens are a bit pants. The greens get away with murder because they're just not really dangerous. The other ones are though, yellow is really dangerous. Yellows can mess with electricity. Oranges can get in people's minds. And all the reds in Darkest Minds, this was one of the good things about Darkest Minds, all of the reds are basically murdered right from the start. You never really find out what the reds can do. So hopefully that will come into it in the rest of the trilogy. Hopefully there'll be some reds. And if you've read the book, and this is a no spoiler review, then you'll know that possibly could happen. I think the whole plot, which I'm not going to go into because the way that it's set up, it's a bit of a spoiler because you never know really what's going to happen next, which is good for building tension. But it's a bit all over the place. The setting changes very dramatically. Ruby's in one place and then she's in another place. And at the start of the book, the first page gripped me. I was gripped. She goes to a concentration camp because obviously she has a power. It's about her. She's got the power. That's not a spoiler. She's got the darkest mind. But then things just change and you never really get to see her as a character because she's going through so much turmoil. But that kind of sets up the world very well. It's good for world building. I really believe this. Although the way that the blues, the greens, the reds and the yellows and the oranges were described, it took the whole book for me to actually be able to distinguish between what they could all do. But that was kind of good now in reflection because even though you had to kind of decipher it as you go along, it wasn't all just world building right at the start and it was all just very spaced out and it wasn't just in your face straight away. But the plot was a bit all over the place until we got to the second half of the book, I think, when there's this introduction of the new characters, who is my favourite and I'm going to talk about next. But Ruby as a character herself just didn't seem like she had much of a personality compared to the other ones that she met soon as. It was the first quarter of the book was trying to get to know Ruby, but you didn't really get to know Ruby because she's a bit closed off. And then you get to meet Liam and Zoo and Chubbs, and they're brilliant characters because Zoo can't talk. Well, she can, but she doesn't want to for reasons. And then Chubbs is just a skinny guy. It's funny, Chubbs. And Liam is just a beautiful hero protagonist. And Liam's fab, but compared to Clancy, we're going to talk about Clancy because I love him more than Liam, even though Liam's good. Liam is very, very good, but Clancy's evil. But the way he convinces you and manipulates you, and I just really like him as a person, and the way he connects with Ruby, I think they've got a lot more in common than Ruby and Liam have. And I think there's a lot more potential for excitement in the series with Clancy than there is with Liam because he's just there to do good. But Clancy adds another level of excitement because he is the son of the person in charge in the White House. He's like the president, but he's not really the president anymore because the whole society has gone to rubbish. The children are controlled by the PSFs and they're the people that keep them all in the camps, and they play horrible really teeny sounds when they want to control them because the size spout PSI, which are the children's names for what they are. They're the evil ones. That's what they keep to control them by, and they're just the evil source. Then you've got the evilness of the government, which is trying to hang on to the last dregs of society, and all these into play. and also they've got this thing called the League, which the children set up, and they're like all the ones that have escaped from the camps, and there's just like loads of little groups that are all competing, which are all going to come to play in the next couple of books, and I'm really excited to read. I think this book was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's going to get 3.5 stars because now I'm thinking about it, it's kind of like this book was written not even as the first book in the series. It feels more like the second book, like you've already been with the characters for so long, because now I'm thinking about them, they do feel like I've known them for longer than a week because I've only just really finished this. And I like that. It's going to be a really, really good trilogy, and I'm definitely going to get Never Fade as soon as possible, and I would recommend this book. It's a really good YA. And that's the end of the review, guys. If you've read Darkest Minds, I'd love to know what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!